I might also add, there's no shortage of taxes for the rich in Australia. I mean, it's close to 50% tax. If you're at the very upper echelons and you add in the Medicare surcharge levy and beyond, there's plenty of tax. Half their wage goes into tax. And what worries me here is the scope of this policy, Mary. We've got farmers who've got their farms in a self-managed super fund. All they need is their land to go up, and they're going to have to sell off land or close their farms just to survive.
Look, the timing of this could not have been worse, Peter, because farmers are already struggling to keep their head above water across a number of fronts right now. And I think the self-managed super fund, Peak Body, told a Senate inquiry recently that about 17,000 or a little bit more farms are held in a self-managed super fund, and about 3,500 of those farms are worth more than $3 million. So that is just a terrible impact for a lot of farmers that are really struggling.
Big decision today. Northwest Shelf has been approved, but I do have a bit of a wry smile on this one, Gerard. You know, for 6 years, no decision's been made. The government said they could not make a decision prior to the election, and suddenly they've got a new minister, and he's been able to wrap his head around the paperwork in 2 weeks flat. Now, this says to me they knew what they wanted to do. Tanya Plibersek wouldn't play ball. They didn't want to upset the left and the Greens, so they held this over until after the election.
Look, that would be my suspicions as well. And of course, you know, the project has been subject to a lot of Green and activist lawfare over the last couple of years, and as well. The thing is this: if the government is actually doing what they should be doing, I want to wish them success. I, for all Australians, hope that we have a really successful Labor government over the next couple of years. And what this decision shows is when you're trying to negotiate our net zero commitments and start to factor in some of our offshore emissions, the fact that we burn over 200 million tonnes of coal, that we send over 200 million tonnes of coal overseas to get burnt every year, when you're looking at agriculture, when you're looking at transport and other industries, that actually these targets aren't fit for purpose and can't actually be enacted. And look, praise to the Minister for solving this one quick, smart, and I hope that this is actually a sign of the kind of decisions we're going to see in the next couple of years.
We will see. I think they've been mugged by the reality of needing the revenue from the exports for the bottom line. But, you know, prove me wrong, Murray Watt. A Climate 200, they made their biggest donations, surprise, surprise, Mary Aldred, trying to unseat coalition MPs at the election. I know you had a tough race in your seat of Monash. You clearly won it. You're with us tonight. But this is a lobby group that is not going away. They threw about $500,000 at Teal candidates, including in your seat. This is right across the board. Now, I want to see the AEC, Mary, start to call these Teals what they are, and that's a party.
Well, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, Peter, they do operate like a party. And in fact, my Climate 200 funded Teal candidate in Monash had, I counted at least 3 Monique Ryan volunteers and office bearers come down and train her volunteers in our seat of Gippsland. They spent about $1.5 million all up. I think Climate 200 spent $29 per voter in Monash, and so that topped the list Australia-wide, which I've got to say is a terrible return on investment for the eventual outcome. But our community locally said, no, we're not for sale. You cannot just walk in and buy this electorate, and it was really good to see a repudiation of their tactics locally, but I think it's time that they were held to a much higher account than they have been historically.
And just quickly, your declaration, has that been made yet?
I had a phone call this afternoon that said we're looking at this Friday for a formal declaration of the poll, so I'm really looking forward to that.
A little early. Congratulations from all of us here at Sky News. That's it. Thank you both for your time.